Oh man. Well, it turns out I just can't get enough of big body, 4-door V8 sedans. Doesn't matter if they're American or German, or if they're driving me insane, like my 2010 E63 AMG is, still love them. So much so that I went and bought another one. And boom, here she is, guys, the latest project for the channel and my latest pickup, my E39 BMW M5, equipped with the legendary S62 5-liter V8 and 6-speed manual transmission. But how'd we get here? Let's back it up a little bit. Good morning. Snowy, foggy, dreary, spooky morning in Boston today. We're heading just south of the city to potentially bring some BMW content to the channel. Let's go take a look. Alright, she's on there. That was sketchy. Nothing worse than a wet, snowy, icy trailer, rear-wheel drive, V8, 6-speed car, going up a steep incline. But we got it done. We are the proud owners of a new-to-us E39 BMW M5. I'm psyched about this thing. I had no idea how sick these cars were, and I haven't even driven it yet. Let's go do the paperwork and get this thing home. Well, the car was clean. Oops. Well, this thing was clean and completely immaculate, but now it's not. Gotta love salt and treated roads up north this time of year. But it's better than driving it. Anyways, let's get this thing unloaded. All right, finally, a few days later, I finally have some time to actually show you guys this car. Been busy working on the Mercedes, which I think we're gonna have an update on here in a couple days, but wanted something to hold me over in the meantime. So I apologize. Obviously the car got super dirty on the drive home, unfortunately, but you guys saw in the B-roll, it was garaged. It was absolutely immaculate when I picked it up. But we have a pretty mild day here in New Hampshire as far as mid-January is concerned. I think it's going to get into the mid-40s today, so I'm hoping if it warms up enough later, we can even give this thing a wash, maybe pull it inside and really get a good look at the paint and the body, but I'm telling you, it's clean. But yeah, this is my 2003 BMW M5, so this is the E39 chassis. I think it's from 98 to 2003. I know it stops at 2003. This is the last year of the E39 M5. I don't remember if it was 98 or 99 that they started with this, but I know that this is what's called the facelift version. So it had the more modern looking headlights with the halo. These are actually the Euro spec I saw on the receipt, so it has the clear corner instead of the amber. We'll go through all that later. Obviously the M5s came with a different front bumper compared to a standard like 540. Unfortunately, this one has an aftermarket splitter, which is cracked, which I'm not so bummed about. But he also got the bumper in there as well, which I am bummed about because these bumpers are about $2,000, $1,500 if you can find an OEM one. Fortunately, I think that can be replaced. Looks like we've got a fog light that's broken there. Those are aftermarket in yellow. I think he included the original ones as well. The M5s, the E39 M5s came with these super slick looking wheels. They're, I think, 9 in the front and 9.5 in the rear. You can see the dish on them. These are factory BMW wheels. They were finished in what's called like a shadow line or something like that. It was basically a 3-part paint and or powder coat. I don't know. I think these might have been refinished, but we'll get a better look at those maybe if we have time to clean this thing. Again, we'll go through all the paperwork, but this car spent most of its life in California and Arizona before it came to the Northeast in Connecticut in like 2021, I think. So it is very clean. The quad exhaust around the back, which is aftermarket as well. Got that classic BMW key here. Unlock this thing. Super clean black interior. I like this interior because it doesn't have that wood grain that a lot of them had. It never really looked right to me. I think the silver trim, which was an option, looks a lot more sporty and modern. Someone also put an aftermarket wheel on this thing. I really do like it, but the suede or Alcantara or whatever you call it here is definitely seen better days. That's the problem with putting suede on a high touch surface there. But other than that, I mean, this guy even had his drying towel to keep the carpets completely mint. The M5 floor mat is over there. I didn't want to get my snowy boots on it. Got the M5 on the door sills there. Love that. Like most sports cars, or most cars in general, the back seat, of course, looks like it's never been sat in. This is a radio, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and the original fog lights. Other than that, just super clean 20-year-old BMW interior. Oh, we hop in here. Yep, it smells. It's got that early mid-2000s BMW smell. It's not a bad smell. It's just, if you guys have owned one of these cars, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just a BMW smell, just like Mercedes has a smell and Audi has a smell. This has got that BMW smell. So I love the gauges in these cars. Got the silver face, red needles. I think if I turn it on here, or just put the key forward, yeah, the dash, like, or the red line, like, lights up. I feel like that was super futuristic per se for a, 2003. Dash is in great shape. Trim is in great shape. Door panel, the interior is mint. Actually, with one exception. This seam right here on the driver's seat, previous owner said it recently started pulling apart. I think that this can be fixed. And the other thing he said, and this is super common on the E39 cars, is apparently when you put the seat up, it twists. Yep, see, it's doing it. So this side is twisting. It's like that side is not going up. But I think that we can fix that ourselves, hopefully for free. There's a couple write-ups online Other than that, the interior is perfect as far as I've found. You guys know high wear areas right here on these super sporty seats, the bolster right here, no rips, minimal wear. Which brings me to my next point. This car has 145,000 miles. So think about that. When you look, you know, okay, just don't look at that. But when you look at right here, this interior is in fantastic shape. Of course, it's got beautiful suede headliner, sunroof, super nice shape. And the best part right here, 6-speed manual. I believe this is a, what is it, a Getrag transmission? I forget the exact model number. I think this thing lights up too. Yeah, there it is. Is that factory? You BMW guys are gonna have to let me know what else you see. I have zero experience with this chassis or most BMWs in general, so let me know what I'm missing. So that's enough of that. Let's see if we can fire this thing up. The roads have finally cleared up a little bit. Minimal salt on them. Let's take this thing for a drive. I've not driven it. I did not test drive this car. It was snowing out when I bought it. I just told the owner, I said, you know what, I'm going to take your word for it. The car looks immaculate. I have a crazy amount of service receipts for this car. He put in almost $20,000 of maintenance into this thing, which is more than I paid for the whole car. So I have a feeling it's going to drive pretty good, with maybe a caveat or two. Lots of plane traffic. But let's find out for ourselves. Well, there she is. S62 roars to life. Curious to see what kind of exhaust is on here. I was checking the receipts. I think this might be custom made. I saw some TIG welds down there, so we'll see. See how it sounds. Here's our dash. 145,000 on this baby. Check out the steering wheel too. They did the M colors. It's kind of cool. It's well done. I hope I can get this suede to come back. It feels nice, but God knows how many years of skin cells and dirt and sweat and all sorts of nasty stuff that comes off your hands on there. Let's pop the hood. Let's pop the hood. How do you do that? Oh, that was the trunk. Okay. Hood, right there. We have to shut this now. Look how clean it is back here. I don't even know what's in here. Those subwoofers? No way. Are those factory? That's sick. 6-disc changer. All right, we'll get through all this later. Let's get to the good stuff. Reach through the kidney grills here. Yep, pops right there. Shoo! There she is, the holy grail S62 5-liter V8. Sounds like a sewing machine. This is the craziest part on these motors to me. Is this all like an intake plenum? Like obviously the air boxes are down here, so this has to be just a giant like cross, like long runner intake plenum. This thing makes 400 horsepower naturally aspirated, which back in, you know, late 90s was impressive and still is. Again, you BMW guys are gonna have to educate me here, but this motor, just like my E63, has variable valve timing, or as BMW calls it, what is it, Vanos, on both intake and exhaust cams, which is a problem area, or a common problem area on these S62s. Thankfully, the ones on this car are all new. See the xenon headlights there with the rings and one good fog light, but that's an easy fix. But yeah, this motor sounds great, but once again, I have not yet driven this thing, so let's take it out on the road, get it up to temperature, and see what it's like to drive an E39 BMW M5. is this thing like the Mercedes where I hit this and... Oh yeah. Fancy. Let's get the heated seat on. Nah, I'm just kidding. Imagine if this thing just grinded right into second gear. Oh, I didn't test drive it. I didn't think I needed to. Let's see if that bites me or not. Does have a short shifter in it. Saw that in the receipts as well. Feels nice. Oh, I picked the wrong road. I also know that this car definitely has lowering springs in it. This thing is slammed. And this road that I'm on right now is particularly bad this time of year with frost heaves. So let's get off this road and see how this thing really drives. Exhaust is not like loud or drony. Let's put it into fifth here. Oh, that's third. Fifth is way over. I keep thinking that's going to be reverse, but it's backwards on the BMWs. Reverse is on your left. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it drones. Shifts through all the gears nice. BMW things. I was wondering why, you know, the car is set at the climate control to 90 degrees. It was just blowing cold air at me. For some reason, there's like an additional dial here that you can make it blow cold air at you, even when the heat is on hot. So while we wait for this thing to warm up a little bit and while we hopefully get on some smoother roads here, how did I end up with this BMW? Well, you guys know me if you've been on the channel before. I was looking for another project for the channel. We finished the Marauder, and that's actually shortly here going to be going off to its new owner. So I was looking for something, and I wanted to do it before the end of the year to spend a little bit of money, and I was not finding anything. I was scouring for anything. And of course I was looking for the stuff that you guys know me for. The 4th gen F bodies, the LS1, LS2, LS3 cars, Corvettes, Firebirds, Camaros, Mustangs, GTOs, anything that I've known or done in the past I was looking for. But then I got to thinking, let's try and attract some new audience members to the channel. And for those audience members that are already here, if you don't like a 6-speed, 8-cylinder, 4-door BMW, what are you even doing here, man? So I started looking for M3s, M5s of like all different generations, and found this one. And I just liked how clean it looked, and I really, really liked the service history. These S62 motors are known for, along with a lot of BMWs, I don't know why, but a lot of BMWs are known for rod bearing issues. And that is a pretty serious job, putting new bearings in these things. The E92 M3s have it. Forgive me on the generation, but the M5 after this, I think it's, an E60 with the V10, which is a sick car, also plagued by rod bearing issues. So the E39 M5 with the S62 is not exempt. It has rod bearing issues, or can have rod bearing issues. I have receipts for this car for, I think, like $17,000 worth of work done 2 or 3 months ago for rod bearings, complete Vanos rebuild, both sides with all associated gaskets, hardware, all seals, timing cover, oil pan gaskets, every little seal, nut, and bolt that goes with that job was done at like a BMW specialist independent shop that is well known in the area. So that was attractive to me. The mileage didn't really scare me. Wow, this heat, she rips. Let's bring that down a little bit. Okay, again, first time driving an E39 BMW. As the car warms up, it's moving up my red line. Like obviously when it was cold, it started at 4K. Now it's at 6,500, and I assume once we get to full operating temp here, that is really cool for a 22, 23-year-old BMW. All right, let's see how this thing merges on the highway. Let's drop her into second just for fun. Just oh man. You guys want to see something? That's not tire spin. Yeah. You guessed it. This thing, she's gonna need a clutch. But don't worry. I've bought a car in the past that just needed a clutch, and it wasn't a big deal at all. Whoa. That was bad. Anyways, everything's fine. Everything's fine. This thing desperately needs a clutch, it seems. I just gave it, you know, 3/4 throttle in second gear getting on the highway, and it immediately just revs to the moon. So that's not good. It's not great. Yep, there it is again. All right, so we're just lugging it. Well, not even lugging it. You know, 2,000 RPM, 4th gear, 40 mile an hour. Let's do like half throttle. Nope, slip. I can't say that's really a surprise. All right, so first test drive. Not great, not bad. This thing definitely needs a clutch, and I say that's not really a surprise because when I talked to the previous owner on the phone, when I originally inquired about it, I said, what does the car need mechanically? And he said, it's gonna need a clutch soon. How badly it needed it, I guess that was up for discussion because I didn't drive the car, but I basically bought it assuming that it needs a brand new clutch and flywheel and all that, which it turns out is exactly the case. Which leads to, what did I pay for this car? This is a 2003, so the last year of the E39 M5 with 145,000 miles on it. It's black, obviously. It's had all that motor work done. We'll go through the receipts in a little bit, but basically needs, God, I hope it just needs a clutch. Also, just needs a clutch shirts. I still have a few left in a couple different sizes. I don't think I'm gonna be printing anymore. So if you wanna help fund the clutch in this thing, check those out. What do we got? Cessna. Killer day for it, dude. I paid $18,500 for this car, which seems like it would be a lot of money until you realize that the market on these E39 M5s is absolutely insane. The one just went on Bring a Trailer. It had 240,000 miles on it, just went for 25 grand. And there's plenty of other examples in the 100,000 to 150,000 mileage range that are $30,000 or above for clean ones. So I was as surprised as you guys were to find out that there's such a loyal following for these cars that makes the value so high. But this guy was storing it in his brother's garage and he kind of needed it out of there. It's winter, not a great time to sell a car here in the or sports car here in the Northeast. So I think I got a great deal, but I guess we'll see where the numbers end up at the end of this one. But God knows the last car that I thought just needed a clutch, didn't go so well. But the last car that just needed a clutch didn't even make it out of the driveway and barely made it in the garage. Clutch is all the way out. That is one tired clutch, tell you what. miles. We're out driving this one, so that's a win. The motor sounds absolutely beautiful. I don't see any leaks. Super quiet. The car drives beautifully. Even though the clutch was slipping, I did have it up to like, 75, 80 miles an hour. It drives absolutely beautifully. The brakes feel good. Cooling fans coming on. The heat works. The heated seats work. Everything else seems good. So I'll take that for now. Check this out too. Reverse all the way over on the BMWs, or this one anyways. Got parking sensors, and someone put a camera in the aftermarket Kenwood there. I haven't owned a BMW in forever. Matter of fact, I've only owned one other BMW, and that was in 2010. It was my mom's 2003 325 Xi that she bought brand new. I bought it from her because it needed like an axle, CV axle or something like that, and just kind of used it as a daily driver when I wasn't driving my 2000 Camaro SS. That is the only BMW I have ever had in my life. It's not that I don't like them. For a while I was scared of German reliability, but then I started getting into Mercedes a little bit. And after the E63, nothing really scares me anymore. So I've always kind of wanted to try these E39 M5s, and once I saw the car in person, I see what all the hype is about. It's just such a sick looking car. And I'd like to get this one back to how it was when I first saw it. So let's see if it warms up enough back at the house. Let's give this thing a bath and see what the body really looks like so I can at least show you guys. If we make it back, this clutch is not happy. Man, does this thing sound good. Slipping right there though. Any real load or throttle input, it slips. She pulls strong all the way to Redline though. We slipping. Of course, to clean this thing up, we're going to be using only the finest wash products from Gyeon, including their foam, bathe, and wheel and tire cleaners. You guys have seen me use all of their products, from wash products to polishing, tire shine, everything. You guys are looking to keep your ride looking perfect. Be sure to check out Gyeon. I'm going to leave a link in the description. here you go. Quick wash later, and what a transformation. Unfortunately, the clouds moved in, so the lighting is not the greatest, but bear with me. The paint is in really, really nice shape. The only thing I noticed during my initial inspection was, you know, some rock chips on the front, or the hood rather, to be expected for a 140 something thousand mile car, but I did not see a single ding or dent anywhere. No signs of repaint as far as I can see. I haven't, you know, gone through it with a fine-tooth comb yet, but you know, no crazy Bondo or sanding marks or anything like that. Hold on, another plane going by. Guy's got Flowmasters on that thing. I was talking to you guys about the 3-stage finish on the factory wheels. This is going to be really hard to tell on camera in this lighting, but it almost looks like that wheel is lighter than this one, and I think the same thing is happening on the other side. I don't know if these wheels have been refinished once before. This almost looks more like a gunmetal gray. It looks sick, in my opinion. This one kind of looks more like the original finish. But then again, I don't know. They might have been refinished before. The wheels are all perfect. Oh, you can hear the parking sensors going off, so clearly those work. With the exception of this passenger rear one, little bit of a curb and it chipped. Like I said, is that the original finish, or has this one been refinished once before? I know the process from the factory for these wheels was I think a black powder coat, and then like a silver paint, and then like a chrome top layer or something like that. Who knows? If you guys are experts on these wheels, let me know, but they are sick. Such an awesome factory looking wheel. Tires, I saw those on the receipts as well. They're basically new, not very old. We already talked about the front bumper and lip. I did notice this, looks like this wheel well liner is disintegrating. Extremely brittle. I wonder if anyone know if I can get these still from BMW? Probably fat chance, but, or who makes a good aftermarket replacement that fits well. We got to do something about that. But yeah, for 140 something thousand miles, this car is super clean. I can't wait to do a paint correction on it, because I'm sure it's going to turn out absolutely mint, which is awesome for the age and the mileage. But I'm dying to get this thing inside, maybe get it up on the quick jack since the Mercedes is taken apart on the lift right now, and see what the underside looks like.
It cost you. You bound to fall, them demons caught you. Back against the wall, it's you gotta talk to. Just look how far it brought you. Went from breaking laws to taking losses. Against you, but we still play. Getting wilder till this day. Dodge of fury, that's word of Deontay. It's been a calm day, but the trauma got me thinking about the storm tomorrow. They don't know what comes in, they just see what comes out. They don't know what gets.
All right, got this thing up in the air. Let's start in the back with the exhaust here. So yeah, this looks custom. BMW guys, E39 guys, let me know. But based on the massive heat shield here, my guess is there would have been a massive factory muffler here, which they've just straight piped. Which seems fine, because I see farther down some massive cats, and then whatever this weird V-shaped thing is, a resonator or secondary cat, who knows. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Southern car, super clean. I was reading in the paperwork, there was an axle seal or something back here that was replaced, so it looks like it was leaking at one point and is not anymore. Again, the Mercedes is on the lift, so I apologize that we're kind of in tight quarters here on quick jacks, but we're gonna make do. Frame up there looks immaculate. You can still see factory primer everywhere. And look at this scrunched up exhaust. Looks all factory. Frame rails, perfect. Pinch welds look good. Some sort of O2 sensor. Oh yeah, here's their post-cat O2 sensors. Factory BMW cats. Frame looks perfect over here. Look at that. Is this like a factory 4 into 2 into 1 header? That's cool. Here's our transmission, which I guess we're going to be taking down at some point, including the drive shaft. Super clean frame rails. Oh yeah, right off the bat, notice this thing's on ground control coilovers on all 4 corners, so that's pretty sweet. Previous owner also said he installed, or had the shop install, this skid plate, which is going to prevent us from seeing the motor very well, but looks fairly clean up there. No surprises, fairly clean. Again, if you guys know where I can get these wheel liners, these things are literally just crusty and deteriorating away to nothing. So if anyone has any recommendations for those, let me know. I need another lift and higher garage ceilings. Let's get a little bit of a better look under the hood. Man, this engine just takes up this entire engine bay. What are these things? Like cabin air filters? The one on each side? Looks like it. So I think these silver things here, right there, those are your new Vanos oil control valves and solenoids and things like that. I see some high pressure lines going right there. That looks all new. Don't see any oil leaks, but we'll probably have to get that skid plate off to see better. I think this is a dry sump engine. Here's your remote mount oil filter with a couple of high pressure lines going to that. So yeah, other than some cosmetics, coilovers, custom muffler delete catback, and obviously a ton of maintenance and, you know, common problem areas addressed on this S62, this thing is mostly stock. Broken splitter removed, just held on with some screws and some double-sided tape. Here's what we're dealing with. It's a little worse than I thought, but it's not completely broken off, so I'm hoping that with some, you know, plastic welder, some body work, this bumper can be saved. Because like I said, these are not cheap. Quickly wanted to give you guys a look at some of the paperwork that came with this car and why it was attractive to me. Starting right here with some of the big stuff. Here's a bill for like 13 grand worth of work. This is the big stuff, you know, rod bearings, VAC Motorsports coated rod bearing kit, all the gaskets that go with that. Full page of gaskets and while you're in there stuff. He had the car for a couple of months, and this was just completed in August of 2025. Then the Vanos rebuilds, $2,000. Not including parts. Front brakes, engine mounts, upper control arms, belts, pulleys, tie rods, recharge the AC, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of work there. I think this one was an oil change or something like that. Skid plate that the previous owner installed. Then there's a bunch of receipts from California and Nevada, parts from FCP Euro, rear control arm kit. Breather system, I don't even know if that's on there or not. Somebody did a Blackstone oil report. That's how you know somebody cares about their car. They did a Blackstone report, which came back, said that everything looks good. Moving down here, we've got tires back in 2021, so I guess 5 years ago now, but let's say the mileage on here. Yeah, okay, so the tires have about 10,000 miles on them, but they look good. More FCP Euro receipts. Here's those OEM Euro headlights for $925. And here's something that someone manually typed up, maintenance items and the mileage that they did it at. So here's your catback exhaust, ignition coils, yada, yada, yada. And then again, showing that someone, was passionate about this car, they printed out E39 M5 production, a couple stats there, fewer than 4,000 examples for the US in 2002 and 2003. Pretty cool. And over here, I guess this is like a reprint of what the window sticker would have looked like. So this car would have been just under 74,000 new. The options it had were the sunshade, split rear seat, the park sensors were $700, and it sounds like it had or has M audio with enhanced bass. So I guess that's there it is. 2 10-inch free air subwoofers. That's crazy that's a factory option. A deal at only $900. So pretty cool. Quick shameless plug, sweatshirts are finally back in stock. A lot of you guys have been asking for those. I sold out of those pretty quick, but they are back in stock. So check the website, sullivan-co.com. I even got them in gray now. Long sleeves are in stock, short sleeves in stock, got plenty of beanies in stock. So if you guys want to help out, support the channel, maybe some clutch money, check out the website. Well, what do you guys think? The latest project for the channel, 2003 BMW M5. It needs a few things, and one of them is major, clutch. Normally that shouldn't be that big of a deal, but I'm a little bit gun shy after the last one. But like I said, this thing runs and drives beautifully, other than the clutch slipping, which I think is fairly common on this chassis, E39 M5. Some guys do them at like every 50,000 miles. So I'm fairly certain this thing is not on its original clutch, but that's also a part that I'm gonna need your guys' help with is clutch recommendations. I think I'm gonna go with factory OEM, the dual mass flywheel, I think it is, and the OEM clutch. The car is mostly stock. I don't have any plans for crazy mods or anything. I just want it to drive nice, but hold the mostly factory power. So let me know what you guys think about that. If you have any better suggestions, let me know. If anything you saw in the video, you guys are BMW gurus, let me know any things to look for, special tools I'm gonna need for the clutch job, any tips and tricks, let me know. I'm all ears. Just leave a comment, let me know. But yeah, other than that, on my list, we got a couple things to do on that driver's seat. Obviously the front bumper repair and repaint. I don't know if I'm gonna outsource that or maybe we set up another sketchy booth in here and spray it in ourselves. And then just the usual stuff. We'll bring this paint back to 100% or as close as we can get it to that. Wipe down the interior, and this thing is gonna be pretty mint. It already was in good shape, but you guys know I like to make them as perfect as possible. If you guys aren't already subscribed, it'd really help out the channel. Leave a comment. I always love reading your guys' comments. Give the video a thumbs up, that helps the algorithm too. Hope you guys are excited about this build as I am. Now I gotta get to work editing this video.